When I was a kid, I always wished we had more arcades. I come from a small country and a small town, and I remember only one place where they had a couple of these machines. I couldn't go often because it was hard to convince my parents to waste money on video games, but those few times I did, I remember to this day. Games are part of our lives, and it doesn't matter if it's 21st century and you are raging at Call of Duty, or if it's 3000 years before Christ and you are beating your Egyptian friend at a brand new board game called Senet. The first games I played, if I don't count those handheld Tetris games you kept on your toilet, would be probably collection of games on CDs for Windows. Remember those?
And of course Windows 95 is compatible with DOS games like Flight Simulator.
That's yesterday's news to Johnny.
These were collections of like 100 shitty games, but you still managed to get through all of them with your siblings or cousins or something, and then you would find that one game that you would keep playing every time they would come around. Good times, good times. I remember my cousin had NES, or maybe some knockoff version, I'm not sure, but we would always play Super Mario Brothers or Duck Hunt or something, and since young age I just liked to press buttons and make things happen on the screen. And then I got older, and the future has arrived. I was probably 12 or 13 when I got my first ever console. Hell yeah! Forget about worms, dude, it's big boy time now. Suddenly I'm playing Super Mario Sunshine. 1985 is calling and they want their Mario back, said no one ever. Resident Evil 4, I always turned off the console because I was a scared little baby. Metroid Prime and Prime 2, games that we felt like they have better graphics than real life. And The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Dude, I know English because of this game. That's how crucial games can be. I had to pick up a dictionary and literally translate word by word. This game is probably like 10 hours long. It took me a year to finish it. And again, it doesn't matter if you are roaming around outside island or beating your Chinese friend at Go, games are important to us. So how does this all make sense? Why am I talking about this when the title is clearly about Japanese arcades? Because, you dumb, I got GameCube, and GameCube is from Nintendo, and Nintendo is from Japan. I was always wondering why I was so obsessed with Japan since young age, and honestly, I think I just realized it was because of Nintendo, and because I cried when I finished Wind Waker. Possibly because it took me a full goddamn year. So yes, we established that I liked games and then I fell in love with Japan. There's one more crucial thing before we get to the modern Japanese arcades. At age 17, I discovered poker and I started playing it a lot. Immediately after I turned 18, I opened up an online account while poker was booming. It was in a gray area where nobody knew if it was legal or illegal and people were just dropping stacks on the game. The richest people in the game were playing nosebleeds, which means extremely high stakes poker, and everybody was watching. The gold age of high stakes poker, WSOP and online gaming. I liked playing online because I could still be home, still press buttons and make things happen on the screen while also losing money. I did dedicate a lot of my time to this game at this point of my life, and suddenly one table was just too easy. 2 were boring. Let's pick up the pace. I was playing 4 tables, 6 tables, 8 tables, and before I knew it, I was playing 16 tables, baby. My mind was in 6th gear and spinning.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
It fueled my adrenaline-deprived brain and I loved it. It felt like I'm in a trance or something. My mind was focused only on the game and the numbers and nothing else mattered. Just be fast, be smart and be precise. So now, finally, we are arriving in my adulthood. It's 2015, I'm 24 years old and I go to Japan for the first time ever. And then one day, we stop by an arcade. We go in and it's filled with all sorts of games. New video games, old video games, prize-winning machines, card collecting games. And then I run into music section. Section of the arcades that's so goddamn loud you can't hear your own voice. There are piano game machines, DJ simulator machines, DDR machines, and all the people who play those games are really good. Like, insanely good. The goal of these games is usually the same, just press the right button at the right time to the rhythm of the song to gain points. More precise you are, more points you gain. Easy. I felt like I was getting ready for this my whole life. I got to a machine called Jubeat. It has a big shiny cube on top and the buttons are on a grid 4x4. 16 buttons total, just like my old poker days. I was ready. These buttons display colors or pictures to the music and they tell you exactly when to hit them for a perfect score. Hit more than one precisely and you start building up combo. If you hit too early or too late, you are losing points or your streak. I put in 100 yen coin, chose a song, and I sucked.
Look at this dude. No.
Turns out it's not that easy to just hit everything flawlessly, and also I didn't do my 16 multitask thing for years. I had to start over, one button at a time. Fast forward to 2018, my second trip to Japan. This time I'm traveling solo. Nothing is holding me back except for my wallet. But I'm ready, I'm dedicated. I got my Konami card where all my progress is saved and I got all the time in the world. I started practicing. I found few songs that I liked, not that much for the music itself, but more for the rhythm of the button presses, and I kept playing them. I started bringing headphones so I can hear the music better, which is almost mandatory, because like I said, these places are just extremely loud. At first I had some misclicks and mistakes, of course, but then big mistakes started turning into smaller mistakes, and I built up muscle memory. My fingers would move into position before the pictures on the buttons even showed up. And then, finally...
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
I hit my 100 button combo, which means I didn't do a single mistake in 100 button presses on a song that was in an extreme category, which also means that there was more buttons to press at a faster pace. I was on top of the world. I felt like I learned a new instrument and unlocked a new skill. And then I looked around the arcade victoriously and I saw this guy. Yeah, I still suck. But it doesn't matter, because for a second my brain got distracted and I had that feeling of losing myself to this one activity and I'm getting better and better at it. And that doesn't happen often to me. What is the message of this video? That video games can teach you important life lessons? That they can teach you patience or new language or better hand-eye coordination so you can become an amazing surgeon? Not really, even though I think all of these things are true. I just really like video games and Japanese arcades, and I wanted to share this experience. So if you ever go to Japan, just drop by an arcade, go inside and play some games, because I think it's a really interesting experience. But that's it for now. So if you want to see more videos like this, or hear stories from my travels, definitely subscribe, click the bell button, leave a comment down below, and I will see you next time. But until then, ciao!